This may be one of the rare moments in modern history when an American president walked in a room and it wasn't clear who the most powerful person was. And that's tell you everything about this US-China visit. Trump spent years fighting China. Tariff trade was economic pressure, and yet President Xi welcomed him with dancing children, smiles and a grand ceremony. Everyone says America and China are the world's biggest rivals, and that's true because they both want the same thing, to be number one. Nobody wants to be number two. But here's the strange part. Sometimes the biggest rival is also the one you simply cannot afford to lose. They don't want each other. They need each other. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. Now before I start, I should give you a disclaimer. Things I will talk about in this video are just my point of view with some actual news report. This isn't about picking sides. It's about understanding what's really happening behind the diplomacy. Now let's start. So let me tell you why they both need each other. Not want, need. There's a big difference. America needs China because a huge part of global manufacturing still runs through China, and then global supply chains depends on China, and China controls critical earth rare minerals. And then there is Iran, because China has influence in some places America simply cannot ignore. Now why China need America? Well, first to get access to global markets, to get trade stability, to get investors confidence, and the last one, China needs America because China's economy cannot afford any more instability right now. But if they both need each other, then why does it still feel dangerous? Why? Because history has seen this before, but history has given a name to it. It's called the Thocydides Trap. I cannot pronounce it, so I will put a name here. Well, this theory simply means when a rising power threatens the one already on the top, even a small spark can turn this competition into a conflict. Well, today China is considered to be a rising power and America the one trying to hold this position. Superpowers rarely fight because they hate each other. They fight because neither of them wants to be on the second place. And this gets even more interesting because President Xi himself has referred to this exact idea. Well, his message was a bit different, but he said, history can warn us without repeating itself. But if peace is the goal, what will happen when the most explosive issue between them enters the room? Taiwan. Man, when this will happen, when the issue will enter the room, it's gonna be like peace, 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 whoosh.
Bing, boom, she, it's gone. It's amazing.
And that brings us to the top 3 biggest questions for this visit. Number 1, why now? Why it's all happening right now? And second, what does this visit actually conclude? And the third and the most important one, what about Taiwan? Well, let's get started by my first question, which is why now? Sometimes leaders don't meet each other because they trust each other. They meet because their circumstances or economy force them to. China cannot afford any more instability in their economy right now, and America knows that global supply chain is still deeply connected to China. And then there is Strait of Hormuz and Iranian problem. Trump publicly says, America don't need China. China, China, China. Well, the geopolitics is not that simple because as I told you earlier that China is influenced in some places America simply cannot ignore, like Iran. China has a good business with Iran. China buys 90% of Iran's oil, which funds 45% of Iran government fundings. Well, that's a big news. Well, maybe the real question is not why they meet now. The real question maybe is why they waited this long. Now let's come to my second question, which is what did this visit actually conclude? Do they suddenly become friends? Absolutely no. Does their rivalry end? This is also no. This talk actually concludes that China will not provide any military supports to Iran from now on, and China agrees with America that Strait of Hormuz should be open. China will also increase their soybean purchases from US, and China will also increase their oil purchases to reduce the dependency on Strait of Hormuz. And Trump claims that China will buy 200 Boeing jets. Well, these are all the claims by Trump and the news reporters. Chinese people or China doesn't give their official statement about this all. I think President Xi really believes fake it till you make it. By the way, China and US has agreed that Strait of Hormuz should be open, but it's been 50 days since this America and Iran wars has started. But America never actually told us that why they actually did attack Iran. I mean, Trump just said, pish, 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 push, boosh, and nothing more. But Iran said they want nuclear powers to provide country with electricity. They don't want nuclear power to create a bomb. Well, I don't know if how much of this is true or not, but let's just continue to my next question, which is, and the most biggest one, which is, what about Taiwan? Because if there is one issue that can destroy every smile on that camera, it's this one. The one who is closely seeing this America-China visit, it's Taiwan. Because we all know that US, China and Taiwan are the triangle of death. And whenever, after the visit or during the visit, if someone asks question to Trump about Taiwan, he just ignores the question.
Did you talk about Taiwan,
Great place,
Mr. President?
incredible. China's beautiful.
特朗普总统说谈得很好。Did you talk about Taiwan, Mr. President?
Would the US defend Taiwan if it came to it?
I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say that. There's only one person that knows that. You know who it is? Me.
But on the other hand, Mao Ning, the official spokesperson of China's foreign ministry, she speaks to media on behalf of Chinese government. She told that, she said that Taiwan is the most important issue between China and US. If the US handles Taiwan issue carefully, China and US can stay peaceful. But if the US supports Taiwan become fully independent from China, it would lead to a serious fight or even war between the two countries. She said that you cannot have peace and Taiwan's independence at the same time. Well, that's a bold statement by China, but US and Taiwan hasn't said anything about this statement at all. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few months Trump changes his attitude towards Taiwan and says the United States will not support Taiwan's independence. Well, if that happens, it's gonna change the entire power equation of the world. And there definitely will be blood. If this story still feels boring to you, let me add one more detail. On the same day Trump landed in China, the foreign ministers of Russia and Iran also landed in India for some serious talk. Well, if that doesn't make geopolitics interesting to you, maybe you should just go home and watch Transformers with Baby Shark songs playing in background. Well, let's not go too deep in this topic, and let me tell you one thing, or just say America needs China, China needs America, or maybe they both need each other, or they both are just trying to buy some time. But I can definitely assure you about one thing, that they are definitely not talking about peace, because if you know politics, you can tell that peace is not even in their dictionary. So if you like this video, subscribe and share this video. If you like this video, well, you understand what I'm saying, like, so like, share and subscribe, and peace, 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 whoosh. Bye. This Trump guy, man.